hijacked a radio station.
Yeah, it's your show. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about hockey. Do you have
Really?
hockey? Do you have hockey in Phoenix?
Actually, it's
Yeah,
very
well, for a couple more days at least. But you know what? Lars is up on it. He totally knew exactly what to bring up.
Why don't you buy the team and all the crap we're going through?
We actually already have bought the team. We're just keeping it a surprise. This is the big unveiling right now.
Really?
So we have a major surprise for you. Metallica has bought the team. The team is staying another 10 years, and everybody's happy.
Yes!
There you go.
Brilliant!
It's the Lars Coyotes.
Oh, yeah, it's
Brilliant. The Phoenix Larses.
The Phoenix Metallicas.
That's a great uniform.
The Phoenix Metallicas. Yeah, that's not bad. You get used to it. I mean, every moniker always sounds weird the first time you say it. The Phoenix Metallicas. NHL hockey in Arizona. There you go.
You've already got the hockey jerseys. We've seen the Metallica hockey jerseys.
Yes.
So we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's authentic now. You've heard it here on the radio.
The voice you're hearing is Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Lars Ulrich. Wow. Drummer for Metallica. Let's just get this straight right away. Lars, officially, you are a legend. Officially, you're a
You know
legend.
the right things to say.
No, it's the truth.
Awesome. Listen, like I just said to you guys,
Well, like
I don't
we
get
just
out.
met.
No, I don't get out of the house very often, and so this is one of the first interviews I've done all year. So we're off to a good start. It's
Yeah,
great.
is
I
that the
love
good
hearing
way
this stuff. You know,
you-
it's Saturday afternoon. I woke up at home, dealing with kids, dealing with
Oh, poor you.
dealing with all that stuff domestic at home at 7 in the morning. How rock and roll is that? Waking up at 7 in the morning on a show day. You know, last time I was up at 7 in the morning on a show day was for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? And now it's
Walk of shame the night before.
Exactly. So but now I'm here and there's nothing but love out in the desert. It's all good.
it is magical out there right now.
Magical.
I use that word. When Anthrax was playing it, we walked out there and it was insane. And we had to come back here, of course, because we want to talk to you. But do you have any good memories about Phoenix playing there over the last 30 years? I mean, anything specific that stands out?
How much time do you have?
It's your show.
Okay. What we've done, obviously we've done production rehearsals for the last two, arena tours in Phoenix, both in 04, it was in March of 04 for the St. Anger Go Around, and then in October of 08 for the Death Magnetic Go Around in two different buildings. It was at what was called the America West building downtown,
Yeah.
and then the new place outside, kind of out in the suburbs.
Jobbing.com arena where your hockey team plays.
There you go, the Phoenix Metallica.
Interesting. That's where it all started.
And so we spend actually a good deal of time in Phoenix because we're there for like a week, and it's nothing but love. And we, got good memories from back in '92 when we played the Phoenix International Speedway with Guns N' Roses out there in the desert in August. And
Yeah, nice planning on your part.
Listen. I think that I think that was one of the shows that got moved because of Hetfield's pyrotechnic thing.
Yeah.
But so that was cool, and there was a great party. I think there were because Axl used to throw these great parties every night on that tour. I think the theme that night was appropriately the Wild West. So it was a Wild West party with scantily clad cowgirls. And it was nothing but fun. And then let me see, Phoenix, Bourbon Street.
No, that's been New Orleans.
Well, there's a
Oh, I know what you're talking
there's a
about.
ballet.
Oh,
place
yes.
called Bourbon Street.
Yeah, Bourbon Street, right? That was back in the
Fine
day.
art.
It's still there.
Yeah. No, I know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
No,
Bourbon Street's
that's in New Orleans, or I forgot. No, there's
You might have forgot.
No, there's a fine establishment that we used to frequent back in the late '80s, early '90s called Bourbon Street. That was one of our favorites in America. And let's see, you had a lot of late nights at the Ritz-Carlton. And what was the old Phoenix Veterans Coliseum?
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Where we played in like the late '80s.
Me and Paul are saying, yeah, but we've lived there 9 months, Paul.
Yeah, but we're like, I remember back when we saw
Yeah,
you.
you guys. Why am I asking? Is there any of you guys? There's like 12 guys here in radio T-shirts. Anybody from Phoenix?
Hippie Down was
Are you-
originally.
yeah?
Do you remember that? Is that what it was? Veterans Memorial?
It is. It's
Yeah,
where
veterans.
the Arizona State Fair is.
Right. And there was also an outdoor joint called
Dodge Theater or
No.
Desert Sky.
Desert Sky Pavilion.
That's where I remember.
Another place out there in the '80s that was basically known as, before they built the Desert Sky, there was a slab of concrete out in the middle of the desert.
That was out in the West Valley. It was like a place where they held rodeos and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and I remember we
Are you
played
making
out
that
there.
up?
No, I'm not making that
No,
up.
it was
there.
literally like before they built Desert Sky, because that was
Yeah.
covered and all that. So, but trust me, we've had a lot of fun in Phoenix over there. Much more than you can say on a family themed radio show on a Saturday afternoon. Trust me.
So, for those that don't know, you and your history with these bands, obviously we all know the Megadeth connection, but the people don't know, back in the beginning with Metallica, when they moved to the East Coast, didn't you guys like share a rehearsal studio with Anthrax, or you were in the same building, right?
Yes, Anthrax were the ones that were sort of greeting us when we
like hosted
came
you.
in. Yes, came in green from the West Coast. Scott Rosenthal, I think his name was at that time. Rosen something. They all lived out in Queens, and they were nice middle class kids out there, and they were very. They took great care of us and got us. I think we went over the place we were staying at where we rehearsed. There was no running water where we lived and rehearsed, so we would go over to Scott Ian's house once a week and shower and eat proper, home cooked meals and stuff like that. So they were very gracious to us in the beginning. So we go back with Anthrax. I don't know if we go back longer with them than Slayer. Probably, yeah, because we were hanging with Anthrax earlier than we were hanging with Slayer.
And now, lo and behold, all these years later, you've got this big festival thing there. And let's face it, if you didn't want to do it, it wasn't happening. So thank you for doing. No, you know it. You know it.
You said I was kissing his ass off the air.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. If you guys didn't want to do it, if Metallica didn't want to do it, it wasn't happening.
Fair enough. Sure. No, I don't know. Let me think about that one. Well, if everybody has to be here, all four of us for it to be the Big Four. If we weren't here, then obviously it wouldn't be the Big Four. In the same way that if Slayer, Anthrax, or Megadeth weren't here. I mean, listen, this is not the easiest thing to put together because you've got four moving targets that are all kind of doing their own thing, making their own records, that all have their own schedules and their own lives. You guys lose a connection.
Yeah, we lost a little bit.
We might have to lost a connection.
Doesn't mean I have to say all that.
We might.
No,
have
it was up just a second ago.
Okay.
So we're good.
You want me to help you?
Yeah, you want to get this?
Press that button. So obviously these aren't the easiest things to put together because everybody's got kind of full schedules and like everybody's kind of got their thing. But we're managing to do I think 6 of these this year, and 1 here in the States and another 5 in Western Europe and countries we were in last summer. So it's listen, if this could be, I don't want to overdo it to the point where it becomes.
Kiss.
You said that, not me. So
you were thinking it though.
So 6 this year I think is great, and you want to keep it special because you don't want it to turn into something that people take for granted.
Sure. So here's the deal.
You guys figure your technical.
No, they're working it out. We're still getting everything done. If you guys, now that you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all right, are you? It's like the Friars Club where you have a vote where you can like get somebody into the club. Now, did they give you a chance to like nominate somebody?
They gave us voting ballots last year. Yeah.
You have voting ballots. So did you vote for Alice Cooper?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Because he's one of ours in Phoenix.
Yeah. No, of course. Yes. I voted for Alice Cooper and the Chili Peppers, obviously, who didn't get in, but hopefully will in the next couple of years, who certainly deserve to be there, just like Alice. Listen, there are thousands of people that are part of this voting process. I don't know exactly what the politics of it are, or how it works, but I got my ballot. I put my X's in the spots that I deemed right, and sent it. I dropped it in the mail and did my everything I'm supposed to.
Did they give you a ring or a trophy or a plaque?
I think the plaque would be more applicable.
For you, that's what you got for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They gave you a plaque.
Yeah, I don't have a clear recollection.
Championship belt, maybe.
I think the word plaque would be the most applicable. I remember it was flat.
Yeah, a belt would be nice to wear it around.
Would it be nice?
Championship belt would be
like a rodeo belt buckle or something like that.
Yeah, a big buckle.
No. Have a couple of guys walk in front of you with it. And you're just walking around, like going down to Safeway.
Yeah, like your entourage.
You're buying Apple
There comes a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer down the dairy aisle.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We joked but in reality,
we have to joke about it.
Yeah.
In reality, I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
You never thought when you were going through the magazine back then and ripping off the band name and all the things that kind of came with it that you would be standing here doing this. So you couldn't possibly have imagined that.
Of course not. that's, I mean, I'm not even going to sit there and say it makes it even more sweet, because it's not something, the only time these thoughts really come up. And I mean, the series is when we sit and talk about it. I mean, it's not something that you sort of walk around and think about on a daily basis. So it really only comes up in interviews. Obviously, it's a cool thing. It's 30 years. The main thing is that, you know, we're happy playing music, and there are 50,000 people out there that are happy journeying to a not so easy place to get to and share in that experience with us and 3 other awesome bands. That is worth celebrating. All the rest of it is, you know, that's becomes back patting or whatever, and it's cool. Obviously, listen, it's nice to, you know, I'd rather win a Grammy than not win one, but it doesn't. I mean, it's not. You know what I mean? It doesn't make that much of a difference. So I also don't want to.
That's easy to say when you've won.
No, but I was
it's
just,
so easy to say. Like you never hear a guy that loses go, you know what? It wasn't important anyway. I didn't
but
really
I was
care.
just gonna say, but I don't want to sound blasé about it. I mean, obviously it's cool, but you know, I think considering everything we've been through, all the ups and downs, 30 years, still the biggest triumph, the biggest plaque, or whatever, the biggest award is the fact that we're still here 30 years later, and there are a bunch of people who still consider us, you know, somewhat relevant, and we play music that people get off on. And I know that we're getting dangerously close to certain cliches that get said a lot in radio interviews and stuff like that, but it really does ring true. You know, it's pretty amazing. We just rehearsed for a couple days, and I just kind of sit there and have a kind of a smile on my face, you know, looking at James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, Robert Trier. It's pretty cool.
It's not a bad band to be in.
It's pretty cool.
I said the same thing walking out here. Some of these guys you see around here, we got this whole crew out here. They're, you know, super young. And I remember coming back, in fact, 20 years ago, almost to the day, you came to Cincinnati. And I'm like, in 10 seconds, I'm in a year and a half of life in Metallica, asking you, are you going to play Nothing Else Matters
When
tonight?
I went to the radio station there on the way to the gig.
Yeah, and you were a big problem with, I don't know, the 12-string, had James making the work right for it. And I'm in there for like 10 seconds. It was almost 20 years to the day, because that was 1991 in Cincinnati.
March, April 91. Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And
I remember.
I look back now, and I have a mullet in that picture, by the way. I think you do too, actually.
We'll keep that our secret. But that's where we filmed, you know, a bunch of the stuff that ended up in the Wherever I May Roam video.
Right.
Was filmed in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And we've always had a lot of fun in Cincinnati.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
It was great. And like I said,
I got one word for you, about Covington.
I don't know about it anymore. I haven't been there a long time. They cleaned it up a little bit. I think you know better than I do at this point.
The Bourbon Street of.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. The strip bar, not the New Orleans.
All right.
But I mean, it's like so funny. That seems like it was 20 years, and you've all gone from there to here today. Like I said, it's just like it's still fun for us to talk to you, and it's still fun to be here. It's like when I'm watching Anthrax right now, I was just going with flashbacks and stuff. It was awesome.
It was. Listen, it's been an incredible ride. So I mean, if anything, today is just a celebration of what everybody's been through, and the fact that we're all here, and some of us are even semi-coherent still. You know?
All right, this is the portion of the interview where you have to do it. I gotta ask the question, because you and I both know, and I'm sure every guy in the band has answered it, and you've answered it as well in every interview since. There is not going to be a U.S. Big Four tour at all, right? You're just doing these 6 shows this year, and then you're not going to do a tour, or are you in the future going to do a Big Four tour, U.S. tour, so people anywhere else can get a chance to see the show that everybody's seeing tonight?
Well, what defines a tour? I mean,
here we go.
No, but I hate to get all Bill Clinton on you, but it's like
Say 25 dates.
I would say that's pretty unlikely.
But let's
at least in the foreseeable future, I think that this is something that we think is something that we consider special to the point where it should definitely not be overdone. And so obviously there's a fine line where you want to try to get it to as many people as possible, but at some point it also can become just too much. You know, I think that based on the success that we're having here, obviously, we are looking at honestly, I mean,
Sure.
World exclusive. Here it is. We're looking at doing something on the East Coast later this year. Logistically, it's not been as easy to put together as this thing, because this is an established, sort of piggybacking on the back of last weekend and of next weekend. But we've been trying for a little while since this thing blew up to try to come up with something on the East Coast, and that's not as easy because of everybody's schedule. I mean, like I said, you got 4 moving targets, and nobody sits around and waits for the big four to. Everybody kind of does their thing, so it becomes more trying to fit it into existing schedules. But we are looking at doing something on the East Coast later this year. tour, that's not in the works right now. But listen, I mean, like I've heard myself say a lot, talking about this Big Four thing. I mean, this is supposed to be fun. This is not supposed to be an obligation. It's not supposed to, there has to be an impulsive, fun element to this. I kind of like the fact that there's a little bit of chaos to it. I think it's healthy for this. This is not something that you want to be so polished that it becomes sterile and kind of loses its edge. Do you know what I mean? So, but we are looking at something in the fall on the East Coast. Is your KD?
Oh, you really? You having a hard time?
KB. What is
You
that?
can't read that when you're staring at my rack. What is that?
Well, it's your cord is hanging in the way, and
Really?
I'm
It's
not
right
saying
behind
anything.
us, Lars.
Okay, God,
Really?
It's his
You're
man
taking
boobs
up
that
most
affected
of the
it.
space.
His stomach region affected the.
But this whole region
This
right
whole
here.
region right
my
here.
fupa.
Can't
This is
read
where
it.
you're-
Is this beat up on Lars Day? Jesus.
Oh, like this is any different than any other time we sit and talk.
So we are looking to do something on the East Coast in the fall.
Cool.
We're doing, like I said, another half dozen in Europe this summer in new countries. But and listen, I mean, I would like to think that all four of these great bands have many great years ahead of them. So, 5 years from now, who knows? But right now, we also want to definitely get back to making another record, and it's been a couple, 3 years now since Death Magnetic, and it's time to start thinking about another record. And so we're just trying to find the right balancing act here and on all this stuff,
Sounds good. Sounds like everything's good in your life and everything, man. Thanks for coming by. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Lars,
man.
in on all the years we've dealt with you, you've always been classy. You guys have always done this thing first class. You didn't have to let everybody come down here. I mean, this is a huge, huge production.
Thank you.
In the summertime. You have always done it first class, and the guys in the band have always done it. So, again, props to you, and thank you so much.
Absolute
Again,
pleasure. And we look forward to coming back to Phoenix and rehearsing for our next tour.
Do it.
let us know when you're in town.
Absolutely.
We'll go to Bourbon Street.
How many plugs is he going to get in for that strip bar? I tried to take it the other direction.
I think he just got
started it.
No, I think you just got a pass from life.
He's totally on the payroll
Is it
now.
still around?
It is.
We'll go see it when you come. We'll see it when you come to town.
If you want to get out of the house on a Saturday afternoon, you pop over, it's an hour flight. Stay at my house. I got a guest room with a little extra long twin you can have for
We
yourself.
can talk about the old days in Covington.
It all comes full circle.
There you go.
Lars Ulrich, thank you
Great
so much.
to see
man.
you guys.
Lars.
Thank you, man. Always
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, brother.
Great to see you again.
Always, man.
All right. Thanks for the support.
See ya.
We will. Did you guys figure it all out?
Yeah, everything's
Do
working.
you want me to
Oh, yeah.
press here?
Everything's working.
You can throw it out if you want.
It's your technical expertise that got us through it, Lars. Thanks.
Peace.
93.3 KDKB live at the Big Four.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Get some photos, please. That'd be great.